Good morning from Austin, Texas. Today I am here at the Pistons at the Park, which is a monthly car show that has tons and tons of cars. I haven't been to this show for 2 years, so I'm really excited to share it with you guys. I've always enjoyed the parking lot car meets the best because it brings out a variety of vehicles. Everything from people's projects to supercars and everything in between. And it's just a great way for everyone to check out their cars. No judging, just a good time for all the car owners and the motorcycle owners to enjoy themselves and look at each other's machinery. The first row I'm going to look at here is a bunch of old school Civics, mainly modified with turbos. Look at the size of the intercooler on this Civic four-door. That thing is just gigantic. But these little hatchbacks, whether they're EGs or EKs, I'm not 100% sure. Very popular, very cool little cars. It is absolutely threatening to rain today. It is 8 a.m. and we're predicting rain for 10. So hopefully we can get enough of this show before the rain starts. But right here we've got one of the few GTR 35 Skylines that we will see at the show today. These cars are awesome, and I know we see them running all over Thailand, but here in the US, they are still quite rare and quite expensive, although not to the level of what they cost in Thailand. It looks like the Mustang contingent is well represented here with every generation, including one of my favorites, which would be the Fox body. This is one of the hatchbacks, probably like a 89 or 90, one of the last ones. But check this out. It has got 3-piece wheels. It looks like it's been supercharged, and I'm just loving this gray over black. Definitely like a kid in the candy store. Having lived outside the US for the last 2 years, I haven't seen a lot of these classic cars, so I'm super excited to be here and check all of these models out, because obviously this show is probably going to be a little bit more on the American car side because we're in Texas and that's what people tend to drive. And boy, have we got some classic cars here. We got a 1957 T-Bird. These are really pretty cars. This was the first T-Bird. It's got the removable hardtop with the little porthole in the back. Beautiful interior, and you got to look at this engine. This thing has been detailed so nicely, and overall this car looks to be in pretty much 100% stock condition. Now next to it we've got a Chevy 2. I believe it's a 1966. Love the color on this. It's been shaved of all the chrome, and again, it's got a nice engine. This one's obviously not the original motor. It has been built up. The interior has been redone, and the lines on this car, although I'm not a big Chevy 2 fan, something about this really draws to me. I love this color. Next up is this four-door 56 Chevy, and we've got an old farm truck, probably like a 71, 72, something like that. Look at this thing. Love the patina on it. This is just so cool. As always, I like to look for the strange and weird cars, and here is one of them. I completely forgot about these. This is the Dodge Rampage from the early 80s. It is a small pickup, and there weren't a ton of them around, as I remember, and now seeing one is just so cool because I'm sure not many of them survived. Love that Dodge Rampage, but I just saw something else pull in that's very cool. You got to remember that Texas does import Japanese cars, which is something that we couldn't do in California, and of course in Thailand they're all over the place. But check this Suzuki out, man. This is one of the K cars, probably a 3-cylinder 660cc. Absolutely cute. And of course the Dodge Charger Challenger contingent is all here in full effect. Not one of my favorites, but very popular here. There's a whole row of them, something definitely you don't see a lot in Thailand, and it's really cool to be able to see these cars here. I'm really happy to see that the NA Miata contingent here is well represented. We got 2 cars over here, and then there's another one hiding over there. I believe we're looking at here is an LS swapped Nissan Silvia. I believe this is a S14 or S15. I'm not an expert on the Silvias. I'm sure one of you guys can correct me in the comments below. Aston Martin DB7? How did this end up over here? This is interesting. In a matte gray, I love the stealthiness of this car. And this body style has aged so well. However, behind this Aston Martin is something that I think is even cooler. We've got this Trans Am. This is like a 1970s, late 70s, early 80s Trans Am. It's got the 6.6 liter engine in it. It's got the chicken on the hood, as they call it. It's the Firebird, but it's called the chicken. And although blue is not a standard color that you would see in these, this is really magnificent. The interior is done up really well. It's a slick top. It is not a T-top. Got more and more people showing up, and ooh, what do we got over here? A Monte Carlo SS. These were mid to late 80s, very powerful. Pretty hard to find these days, along with the Buick Regal GNX. These cars have definitely appreciated and have become much more collectible over the years. Sean, there's the man. How are you?
Good, good. You've
Guys,
been traveling all over the place.
This is Sean Jones. He runs this show. He's a promoter. He does a lot of these events, a lot of them for charity. I'll put his information on screen so you can see all the other events. If you're looking for a good promoter, I've known this guy for 3 years. He's an excellent guy, wonderful human being. I would highly recommend him.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Can't have a good car show without the DeLorean present. Here's one of the original DeLoreans. Love these cars. They're stainless steel bodies, which makes it quite difficult to repair because you can't paint it. But the gull-wing doors, the futuristic design of these cars just brings up so many childhood memories. The only disappointing thing is they put a PRV 6-cylinder engine in here, and they were extremely underpowered. But the styling of this car still holds up to this day. Has to be one of my favorite cars here. A lot of nostalgia, back to the future vibes. You gotta love a good DeLorean. And it is starting to rain, so hopefully we've got enough time to cover the rest of the show before it starts pouring down. What do you guys think of PT Cruisers? This one's had a scissor door conversion. I'm curious to hear what your thoughts are on this design. Let me know in the comments below. Again, only about halfway through the show, yet I see something else that I'm madly in love with, which of course is going to be a little bit strange. This is an Audi RS6 wagon. This huge touring station wagon looks like it's on air ride. It is just so menacing looking. These cars are extremely powerful and quite expensive, but there's something about station wagon styling that I absolutely love. Having owned a couple of the BMW E39 touring wagons, this Audi, man, I would love to have this thing. The Corvettes are, of course, well represented because the organizer, Sean Jones, is a Corvette owner. This is his car. There's quite a few cars here. Let's go check out some of the Vettes and other stuff in this aisle. Can't have America without an H1 Hummer present. These things are just gigantic. I've seen one of these in Thailand, but not on the road. I couldn't imagine that because, again, guys, these things are so tall and so wide. They're about 2 meters wide. It's huge. And it's just a menacing vehicle in general. After talking to the owner of this H1 Hummer, he told me that it's actually 7 feet wide and that it weighs over 5 tons. He's had it for 25 years and it's cracked his driveway twice. That is a monster. Absolutely loving this Subaru. It's been jacked up a little bit. Got all sorts of off-road accessories on it. This thing is so cool. I saw it pull in. And right next to it is almost its color-matched twin, a Beetle. These cars, always very classic, and still quite a few of them on the road. Another American classic. This is a mid to late 60s Camaro. Was never a huge fan of Camaros, was more of a Mustang guy back in the day, but these cars also have a special place in my heart just because of the unique styling. I think this is a late 50s, early 60s custom Suburban. This is the name. I believe it's a Suburban. Maybe it's a Cadillac. Not 100% sure, but man, this thing is really cool. But what is going on here on this Corvette? Look at this thing. It is supercharged. It's got a huge stack over here. God damn. This thing is all set up. It's got a, looks like half a cage and racing belts. This car definitely gets down, especially when you look at the tires that are on in the back. Slick, so definitely set up for drag racing. I definitely miss seeing full-size trucks as we don't get a lot of them in Thailand. So here we've got a Chevy and a Dodge right next to each other. Digging this Nissan hardbody. This is from the late 80s, but it's definitely been modified. It's got a side exhaust on it now. I'm completely stumped on this beautiful Chevy C10 truck. It has got what looks like a big block. It is gorgeous. Twin turbo. I have no idea what kind of engine this is, guys, but this thing's obviously been cut up and modified, and just look at this setup. And it looks like I found O.J. Simpson's white Bronco parked over here in Austin, Texas. I'm having such a good time at this show, just seeing all these cars, talking to lots of people, and just kind of reminiscing because I used to come to this event quite a bit. Just the variety of cars here is something that is very different than what I'm used to now in Thailand. And it's great, like I said, meeting people, talking to people. There he is. OJ's making another getaway. The Mitsubishi Delica is quite an interesting vehicle, one I don't see often. However, I see something else that is even more bizarre. I thought this was a regular Mitsubishi Pajero, but no, this is a Pajero Mini, which means it must be part of the K-Class cars from Japan. And again, these are 3-cylinder, approximately 660cc turbocharged cars that are made this size and this small displacement to get around some of the taxes in Japan. It's definitely not just cars that are this show. There's quite a few motorcycles here, everything from this Kawasaki to this BMW 1100RR, even over to these customs. I believe these are possibly Harleys, not my specialty, but they are beautiful. This has to be either a 66 or 67 Chevrolet Impala SS sporting a 427 turbojet engine. This car in all black is just menacing, and I have never seen an Impala coupe like this before, so from a distance it really threw me off. However, this car in this triple black is just stunning. I almost forgot to show you guys the Avanti. I've seen this car here before. It was a few years back. Very interesting styling. This is probably from right around 1966-67. These cars were very unique. This black Chevrolet K5 Blazer caught my eye from across the lot. What is going on with this thing? It is simply stunning with these giant gold wheels, and it's got a little pickup truck bed trailer as well to match. Man, this thing is just really cool. Super nostalgic to be back at this car show. If you like car shows, check out my car show playlist. Guys, please make sure you take care of yourselves, and I'll see you all soon in another video.